There is no one in Babylonia to plant or harvest crops. Even foreigners who lived there have left for their homelands, afraid of the enemy armies. Israel is a flock of sheep scattered by hungry lions. The king of Assyria first gobbled Israel up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonia, crunched on Israel's bones. I, the Lord all-powerful, the God of Israel, punished the king of Assyria, and I will also punish the king of Babylonia. But I will bring Israel back to its own land. The people will be like sheep, eating their fill on Mount Carmel and in Bashan, in the hill country of Ephraim and in Gilead. I will rescue a few people from Israel and Judah. I will forgive them so completely that their sin and guilt will disappear, never to be found. The Lord commands to the enemies of Babylonia. The Lord said, I have told the enemies of Babylonia, attack the people of Merathaim and Pekod, kill them all, destroy their possessions. Sounds of war and the noise of destruction can be heard. Babylonia was a hammer, pounding every country, but now it lies broken. What a shock to the nations of the world. Babylonia challenged me, the Lord God all-powerful, but that nation doesn't know. It is caught in a trap that I set. I brought out my weapons, and with them I will put a curse on Babylonia. Come from far away, you enemies of Babylon. Pile up the grain from its storehouses and destroy it completely, along with everything else. Kill the soldiers of Babylonia, because the time has come for them to be punished. The Babylonian army destroyed my temple, but soon I will take revenge. Then refugees from Babylon will tell about it in Zion. Attack Babylon, enemy archers. Set up camp around the city, and don't let anyone escape. It challenged me, the holy God, so do to it what it did to other cities. Proud Babylon will fall, the Lord said. People of Babylon, I, the Lord, promise that even your best soldiers will lie dead in the streets. Babylon, you should be named the proud one, but the time has come when I, the Lord, all-powerful, will punish you. You are proud, but you will stumble and fall, and no one will help you up. I will set your villages on fire, and everything around you will go up in flames. You Babylonians were cruel to Israel and Judah. You took them captive, and now you refuse to let them go. But I, the Lord all-powerful, will rescue and protect them. I will bring peace to their land and trouble to yours. I have declared war on you, your officials and advisors. This war will prove that you are prophets and liars and fools, and it will frighten your warriors. Then your chariot horses and the foreigners in your army will refuse to go into battle, and the enemy will carry away everything you treasure. Your rivers and canals will dry up. All this will happen because your land is full of idols, and they have made fools of you. Never again will people live in your land. Only desert animals, jackals, and unclean birds. I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and the nearby towns, and I will destroy Babylon just as completely. No one will live there again. Babylonia is invaded, the Lord said. Far to the north, a nation and its allies have been awakened. They are powerful and ready for war. Bows and arrows and swords are in their hands. The soldiers are cruel and show no pity. The hoofbeats of their horses echo like ocean waves crashing against the shore. The army has lined up for battle and is coming to attack you, people of Babylonia. Ever since your king heard about this army, he has been weak with fear. He twists and turns in pain like a woman giving birth. Babylonia, I will attack you like a lion from the forest, attacking sheep in a meadow along the Jordan. In a moment the flock runs and the land is empty. Who will I choose to attack you? I will do it myself. No one can force me to fight or chase me away. Listen to my plans for you, people of Babylonia. Your children will be dragged off and your country destroyed. The sounds of your destruction will be heard among the nations, and the earth will shake. Chapter 51. Babylon will be destroyed. The Lord said, I, the Lord, am sending a wind to destroy the people of Babylonia and Babylon, its capital. Foreign soldiers will come from every direction, and when the disaster is over, Babylonia will be empty and worthless. I will tell these soldiers, attack quickly, before the Babylonians can string their bows or put on their armor, kill their best soldiers, and destroy their army. Their troops will fall wounded in the streets of Babylon. Everyone in Israel and Judah is guilty, but I, the Lord all-powerful, their holy God, have not abandoned them. Get out of Babylon. Run for your lives. If you stay, you will be killed when I take revenge on the city and punish it for its sins. Babylon was my golden cup filled with the wine of my anger. The nations of the world got drunk on this wine and went insane. Then nations will no longer bring him gifts, and Babylon's walls will crumble. The Lord offers hope to his people. The Lord said, Get out of Babylon, my people, and run for your lives before I strike the city in my anger. Don't be afraid or lose hope. Though year after year there are rumors of leaders fighting for control in the city of Babylon, the time will come when I will punish Babylon's false gods. Everyone there will die, and the whole nation will be disgraced. When an army attacks from the north and brings destruction, then the earth and the heavens and everything in them will celebrate. Babylon must be overthrown because it slaughtered the people of Israel and of many other nations. My people, you escaped death when Jerusalem fell. Now you live far from home, but you should trust me and think about Jerusalem. Leave Babylon, don't stay. You feel ashamed and disgraced because foreigners have entered my sacred temple. Soon I will send a war to punish Babylon's idols and leave its wounded people mourning everywhere. Although Babylon's walls reach to the sky, the army I send will destroy that city. I, the Lord, have spoken. Babylon will be destroyed, the Lord said. Listen to the cries for help coming from Babylon. Everywhere in the country, the sounds of destruction can be heard. The shouts of the armed enemy, like crashing ocean waves, will drown out Babylon's cries as I rebuild the city. An enemy will attack and destroy Babylon. Its soldiers will be captured and their weapons broken, because I am a God who takes revenge against nations for what they do. I, the Lord all-powerful, the true King, promise that the officials and advisors, the governors and leaders, and the soldiers of Babylon will get drunk, fall asleep, and never wake up. The thick walls of the city will be torn down, and its huge gates burnt. Everything that nation worked so hard to gain will go up in smoke. Jeremiah gives Seraiah a scroll. During Zedekiah's fourth year as king of Judah, he went to Babylon, and Baruch's brother Seraiah went along as the officer in charge of arranging for places to stay overnight. Before they left, I wrote on a scroll all the terrible things that would happen to Babylon. I gave the scroll to Seraiah and said, When you get to Babylon, read this scroll aloud, then pray. Our Lord, you promised to destroy this place and make it into a desert where no people or animals will ever live. When you finish praying, tie the scroll to a rock and throw it in the river Euphrates. Then say, "This is how Babylon will sink when the Lord destroys it. Everyone in the city will die, and it won't have the strength to rise again." The end of Jeremiah's writing. Jeremiah's writing ends here. Another account of the fall of Jerusalem. Chapter 52. Jerusalem is captured. This is also told in 2 Kings 24:18 to 25:30, 2 Chronicles 36:11 to 21. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he was appointed king of Judah, and he ruled from Jerusalem for 11 years. His mother Hamutal was the daughter of Jeremiah from the town of Libnah. Zedekiah disobeyed the Lord just as Joachim had done, and it was Zedekiah who finally rebelled against Nebuchadnezzar. The people of Judah and Jerusalem had made the Lord so angry that he finally turned his back on them. That's why horrible things were happening. In Zedekiah's 9th year as king, on the 10th day of the 10th month, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylonia led his entire army to attack Jerusalem. The troops set up camp outside the city and built ramps up to the city walls. After a year and a half, all the food in Jerusalem was gone. Then on the 9th day of the 4th month, the Babylonian troops broke through the city wall. That same night, Zedekiah and his soldiers tried to escape through the gate near the royal garden, even though they knew the enemy had the city surrounded. They headed towards the Jordan Valley, but the Babylonian troops caught up with them near Jericho. The Babylonians arrested Zedekiah, but his soldiers scattered in every direction. Zedekiah was taken to Riblah in the land of Hamath, where Nebuchadnezzar put him on trial and found him guilty. Zedekiah's sons and the officials of Judah were killed while he watched. Then his eyes were put out. He was put in chains, then dragged off to Babylon and kept in prison until he died. Jerusalem was captured during Nebuchadnezzar's 19th year as king of Babylonia. About a month later, Nebuchadnezzar's officer in charge of the guards arrived in Jerusalem. His name was Nebuzaradan, and he burnt down the Lord's temple, the king's palace, and every important building in the city, as well as all the houses. Then he ordered the Babylonian soldiers to break down the walls around Jerusalem. He led away the people left in the city, including everyone who had become loyal to Nebuchadnezzar, the rest of the skilled workers, and even some of the poor people of Judah. Only the very poorest were left behind to work the vineyards and the fields. Nebuzaradan ordered his soldiers to go to the temple and take everything made of gold or silver, including bowls, fire pans, sprinkling bowls, pans, lampstands, dishes for incense, and cups for wine offerings. The Babylonian soldiers took all the bronze things used to worship at the temple, including the pans for hot ashes and the shovels, lamps, snuffers, sprinkling bowls, and dishes for incense. Soldiers also took everything else made of bronze, including the 2 columns that stood in front of the temple, the large bowl called the sea, the 12 bulls that held it up, and the movable stands. The soldiers broke these things into pieces so they could take them to Babylonia. There was so much bronze that it could not be weighed. For example, the columns were about 8 meters high and 5 meters round. They were hollow, but the bronze was about 75 millimeters thick. Each column had a bronze cap over 2 meters high that was decorated with bronze designs. Some of these designs were like chains and others were like pomegranates. There were 96 pomegranates evenly spaced around each column, and a total of 100 pomegranates were above the chains. Next, Nebuzaradan arrested Seraiah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, his assistant, and 3 temple officials. Then he arrested one of the army commanders, 7 of King Zedekiah's personal advisors, and the officer in charge of gathering the troops for battle. He also found 60 more soldiers who were still in Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan led them to Liblah in the land of Hamath, where Nebuchadnezzar had them killed. The people of Judah no longer lived in their own country. People of Judah taken prisoner. Here is a list of the number of the people of Judah that Nebuchadnezzar took to Babylonia as prisoners. In his 7th year as king, he took 3,023 people. In his 18th year as king, he took 832 from Jerusalem. In his 23rd year as king, his officer Nebuzaradan took 745 people. So Nebuchadnezzar took a total of 4,600 people from Judah to Babylonia. Jehoiachin is set free. This is also told in 2 Kings 25:27-30. Jehoiachin was a prisoner in Babylon for 37 years. Even then, evil Merodach became king of Babylonia, and in the first year of his rule, on the 25th day of the 12th month, he let Jehoiachin out of prison. Evil Merodach was kind to Jehoiachin, was honored him more than any of the other kings held prisoner there. Jehoiachin was allowed to wear ordinary clothes instead of a prison uniform, and he even ate at the king's table every day. As long as Jehoiachin lived, he was paid a daily allowance to buy whatever he needed.